You anoint my head with oil. That's the next part of the verse in the 23rd that we're looking at. And sharing oils and perfumes were common in Bible days. And in the case of a shepherd anointing a sheep with oil, it served two purposes. One, it prevented sunstroke, but two, and maybe more importantly, it ran into the crevices of the sheep's skin to repel flies and other parasites so that the sheep could live free from being fretful. The oil brought peace to the sheep, and especially to his ears, because that's where he was most susceptible to pests, and it covered them and settled their lives from constant fret. There are many references to oil in the Bible, over 200, and I've personally seen people use oil to pray for people in a church. They pour a little bit on their fingertip, place it on someone's forehead, and they pray over them. Honestly, I felt uncomfortable when I had that done to me. I'm not sure why, but all I worried about was that they were getting oil in my hair, and I didn't even hear what they prayed. In Luke 7, we read a popular story of a lady washing Jesus' feet with her precious oil and anointing him. So the word anointing and the word oil together sounds kind of mysterious. Some people today swear by oils, essential oils, and they use them to go to sleep, for the healing of ear pain, and so much more. But here's the deal. In this verse, it's the shepherd anointing the head of the sheep with oil for the purpose of covering the sheep with a protective coating, especially the ears, from all the pests that would literally drive the sheep mad. So in this context, if I were a sheep, I would want that oil all over me. It's the reason we spray with insect repellent in the summer to keep from being bitten and miserable outside. So we don't have to get spooked by the verbiage in this passage of being anointed with oil. Practically speaking, it was necessary for the sheep in order to live in peace and rest. And we need that. And if you think about it, it's what we listen to in our minds and in our ears that causes us to fret and live in fear. All of the news, all of the what-ifs of the unknown, these are the flies that buzz around our ears and drive us mad and stifle us with fear. I would think that a flock being attacked by flies would be rendered useless to the shepherd, and the key to their healing was standing still and allowing the shepherd to anoint their heads with oil. I didn't like that anointing oil on my head as a kid, and I know there are some who still practice it and others who think it's just weird. But what's not weird here is the analogy here of the shepherd rubbing oil near our ears so that our ears are anointed to keep out pests. If we could somehow keep out lies and worries from being whispered in our ears, think of how we would enjoy that feast that the shepherd prepares for us. Think of how pleasant we would be around the other sheep, and think of how well we would sleep at night. The oil had to be reapplied often because the flies were relentless. I don't know if I'll ever have someone touch my head with oil again. Maybe so or maybe not. I'm pretty sure there's nothing magical about a ritual of placing oil or anointing or dousing. However, there's truth in this verse we don't want to miss. If we stay in his presence, eat at his table, lie down and drink from still waters, there will also be times when we need to stand still and be anointed with oil so that we can have rest from all the noise. The oil was protection, and that's available to all of us who follow the shepherd. It's not mysterious and spooky. It's an act of hospitality by the shepherd because he cares for his sheep. And it says when he does it that these are mine. They belong to me. Every pest that dares to buzz around the sheep cannot land or light here anymore. I know my sheep, and I know my voice, and every other voice will be quieted in this moment, in this stillness of standing under my anointing of my presence and my healing, so that my sheep can rest in peace without a tremor of fear and even one leg upon which they stand.